So a psychologist explained why 90s kids think differently than Gen Z. It said the games that you played as a kid literally rewired your brain. And it said, here's what changed. And it said, 90s children played games that forced the brain to fail and retry. Mario, Sonic, Prince of Persia, you only had 3 lives, no saves, and no hints. When you lost, you learned patience, planning, and frustration tolerance. Today, many games guide kids step by step, auto-save every 10 seconds, and remove the real challenge.
Tetris. Oh, that was games you could lose your place in the game for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tetris, Doom, Quake, Zelda. You had no map, no path arrows. You remembered layouts, patterns, secrets. Scientists now show that the games strengthened the hippocampus, the part of the brain for memory and navigation. So modern games often give a glowing lines, GPS arrows, voice assistance, so kids can follow the instructions instead of figuring things out.
Interesting. Welcome back to the channel. You know what? I kind of agree with this. So, I'm an old dude. I ain't gonna even front. I'm an old dude. So, 80s baby, born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. So, I kind of agree with it. Psychologists say the video games rewiring your brain and things of that nature. Maybe that's why we millennials think differently. He said Gen Z. Let me see. Let me rewind and see what he said. Already, my brain is crazy. Yeah, think differently than Gen Z, 90s kids. So basically, millennials. I do want to look up hippocampus because I don't know what hippocampus is. Give me a second.
A few moments later.
All right, the hippocampus is a complex seahorse-shaped brain structure located in the medial temporal lobe, crucial for converting short-term memory to long-term memory. Okay, well, great. So the video games that we played back in the day did something catastrophic to the hippopotamus, and you know I can get with that. I can get with that, honestly. We had cheat codes though. Had cheat codes. So I don't know if that is just like, okay, well, we think we have more critical thinking because we didn't have games that was just laid out for us. Now, I mean, I've played some games in the past couple that were a little bit difficult for me to comprehend because maybe my brain is deteriorating because I get a little bit older. I don't know. But the games that we played back in the day, I will say, it forced you to think. It did force you to think. But it kind of goes hand in hand with the people that said that the video games were influential. You know, like the Grand Theft Autos and stuff. Kids shooting up schools and shit. So maybe the games really were influential. I don't know. If they have rewired our brains, then you have to really think about it. Is it more than just the video games? Is it the music? All these things that are very influential. And people say that, oh, well, the video games that are making the kids be violent. Maybe the video games are, in fact, making the kids be violent. If the video games that we grew up playing, it wired our brains to be better critical thinkers pretty much than, you know, the new age Gen Zs and the alphas, I guess, after them. So who's to say? So young kids, please do not pick up GTA 6 whenever it comes out.
Brain for memory and navigation. So modern games often give a glowing lines, GPS arrows, voice assistance, so kids can follow the instructions instead of figuring things out.
And that makes sense because the kids today, I mean, they grew up with tablets in their hands. So it's going to be difficult to expect them to play games without actually, you know, being assisted. GPS. We all have GPS now. I remember when maps were a thing. Like you had the physical map that you pulled out the glove compartment. And if you didn't know where you was going, you had to stop and ask people for directions. You didn't have no smartphone where you can pull out Google Maps or whomever, Apple Maps or whatever. That ain't even had none of that shit, man. Like when I first started driving, there was no GPS. You figured out. You figured out where you was going. And you got lost in the process. When I first started driving, when I got my very first vehicle, I used to get out and just ride around the city. Just ride around the city. I have nowhere to go, no house to get to, no none of that. I just rode around the city so that I can learn my city back and front. I knew back streets, I knew everything. And that was without GPS. When I first moved out here in the DFW area, that was some 7, 8 years ago. I first moved out here. The first couple months I did was drove around the city, no GPS, because I wanted to learn the streets. So that's me coming from a different era. Like I don't like depending on GPS, because at any point in time, powers that be can say, you know what? Let's turn this GPS shit off. All right, y'all figure out where the hell y'all gonna go. So it's kind of difficult to expect these kids to know how to play these games. You want to keep them occupied with the video games, so you're gonna keep the video games around, but you got to kind of assist them, because if it's too hard, they not gonna play. Shit, they don't even really want to keep a job if it's too difficult. It don't even have to be that difficult. It could just be, you know what? They made me put my uniform on today. I think I'm gonna quit. Fuck it. I don't want to be here no more. Like, it don't take nothing for these new age individuals, and I'm sounding like an old head, yes, but it don't take nothing for these new age individuals to quit a job. So yes, the youngsters ain't gonna necessarily want to play a very, very difficult game. If it's too difficult, then they just gonna quit. And I mean, that's just what it is.
And it said, you had to stop when you failed. Today's games are endless, like Fortnite, Roblox, Jensen, Minecraft. They're all
losing.
They're all built to keep attention forever.
True.
He said that it trains a different circuit. Instead of finishing tasks, kids get addicted to the constant stimulation.
So, okay, that makes sense. So is it like a constant dopamine hit? I guess it's just like constant satisfaction. Maybe, I don't know. I will say this: Fortnite is one of those games that I can't play. I'm not good at it. Never been good at it. I try to play with the nieces. I've never been good at it. Like, how those kids can build those little forts up so fast. It's like, dude, what are y'all doing? And they be doing it on keyboard too. They like, how do you do that so damn fast? You know, it's difficult for me to change my gun in Call of Duty or something like that so fast. Like, I can't do it. I'm not coordinated enough. Meet me on Madden or 2K. See me on Madden or 2K. Or WWF No Mercy. See me in one of those games. Like, hit me up when y'all playing some Tetris or some Pac-Man, Asteroids, Snake. Give me some throwback games, man. So it's slow and methodical.
Yep.
And it said in the 90s games were social in real life. So you went to a friend's house, sat on the same couch,
That's a fact.
argued over controllers,
That's a
shared
fact.
secrets, passed levels together. You know, there was always that friend, right?
That's a fact. I'll say that much. When Grand Theft, I remember when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. It if I remember correctly, it only came out on the PlayStation 2. I didn't have a PlayStation 2. My partner had a PlayStation 2. I remember the very first time I went over to his crib, like after school, and we played GTA. Well, I played GTA for the first time. This was like 01, 02, something like that. I'm dating myself, but this is like 01, 02, and I was flabbergasted. I'm like, oh my God, this game is amazing. I needed a PlayStation 2 immediately. And it was like you went to your friend's house, you took your controller. I remember going to my partner's house, taking my controller, and we having like 2K tournaments, like or playing $5 games or something. It was before the prominence of online gaming. Online gaming really kind of came into its own, really with the PlayStation 2. Dreamcast, you could do it to like a degree. But I really feel like the PlayStation 2 was like the first game where you could really like play online, like really play online. And then once I got to the 360, you could, Madden, untouchable. But yeah, it was like, man, you had to go pull up to your partner if you want to play. You brought your games with you that he didn't have, and brought an extra controller because he might only have one, and man, it was dope.
It was like, dude, I'm good at this. Let me do this part, you know? And you're like, yeah, he's good at this. Let him do this part.
Yeah, you would share.
But today's kids play alone with headsets surrounded by thousands, but not connected directly to anybody.
That's so true.
Right? And it says psychologists see more loneliness in kids now who play online games than compared to us who played side by side, like offline games.
That's a fact. Shout out to Mike, Tony, 00 TikTok. Link will be down below to his profile. If I do decide to upload this video, I just want to check out my new setup also, kind of new setup, and to not look at the viewfinder and look at the lens while I did this. But I mean, everything he said, I mean, I guess it's true. So I guess psychologists, they know what they're talking about. I guess they do. It just seemed like it was much pleasurable to play games back then. And again, I'm looking at it from a almost 40-year-old lens, but it just seemed like it was more fun. But I think you can kind of contribute that to everything in society now, right? That's what technology has done. It's kind of crippled us. We don't really know how to talk. I can't tell you how many youngsters I've seen just out in the wild, just out in Gen Pop, trying to holler at chicks, and it's so cringe. Like their approach is just so all off. Like they don't even know how to initiate a conversation. And nobody asks for phone numbers anymore. They ask for social media handles, Instagram, Snapchat. I mean, I guess that's cool too, but I'm old school. I would rather talk to you over the phone than to shoot you a DM. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. And I think that just that's kind of a coagulation, as you will, of everything that is surrounding us as far as society. So maybe the video games did kind of, do that to us. It forced us older folk to have to think a little bit more critically, but that's just technology as a whole. And I'm starting to not think as critical because I have ChatGPT and Gemini in my pocket. I can depend on them. Let me know what you think about this down below in the comments. If you think about it at all, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell too for notifications. I do appreciate you for watching as usual. See you on the next one.